About to be sacked. The sad decline of the only man to beat Max in equal machinery. Everybody's favourite Australian has had a bad time of it since leaving Renault for McLaren in 2021. Most of us were holding thumbs that the potential toothpaste model would live up to his promise at Red Bull. But except for that one glorious day at Monza in 2021, things have never really clicked for a man seen as a potential World Drivers' Champion just a few years ago. The sad decline of the only man to beat Super Max as his teammate over a full season. Danny Ric did not fall with his butt in butter in Formula 1. The man started at a useless Team HRT in 2011. There was a plot twist, however. According to his Wikipedia page, and I quote, Ricciardo was contracted to Hispania Racing by Red Bull Racing, replacing Narain Karthikeyan for the remaining races of the 2011 season, end quote. So Red Bull basically made him a pay driver over at Hispania to gain experience, and the Aussie did not disappoint. His name isn't Harry Potter though, so he couldn't wave a wand and get an HRT in the points, but he did enough for Helmut DeMarco to wave his finger and make him a Toro Rosso driver for 2012. His stint at Red Bull B lasted from 2012 to 13, and he went on and scored points for them and continued his development. And when our second favourite Aussie, Mark Webber, decided he'd had enough of Vettel's crap and called it quits, Marco and Horner called Danny Ric to the senior team where he would partner four-time World Drivers' Champion Sebastian Vettel. The car wasn't up to Mercedes' pace though, but the Honey Badger gave it his all and won 3 races in 2014. He stormed to third in the standings, beating Vettel, who promptly left for Ferrari. 2015 was surely the year Ricciardo would push for the title. Or maybe not. 0 wins and beaten by new teammate Kvyat.
They were quite useless on the wet.
Brought him crashing back to earth. The 2016 Red Bull was back to race-winning pace, and Smiley won once on his way to third on the driver's title again, beating Vettel's Ferrari and smashing Kvyat so badly that he was replaced mid-season by some young Dutchman. Forget his name, Max somebody I think. 2017 would bring another win, and the last season where a teammate would beat Max Verstappen, that's his name. Over the course of a season, as Ricciardo raced to 5th in the World Drivers' Championship, some way off the Mercedes and Ferrari's pace though. 2018 started brilliantly. 2 wins in 6 races still saw Danny Ric challenging for the title. A string of retirements saw him challenging for nothing though, and it was obvious that Max was now Horner's boy. Ricciardo finished 6th, a long way down on Verstappen, who was 4th in the title race. So Ricciardo left Red Bull, as he wasn't willing to race in Super Max's shadow. Renault gave him a go, and 2019 was hopefully the start of something beautiful. Ricciardo teamed up with the Hulk, but the car was kinda rubbish, and Danny Boy fell to 9th in the standings. 2020 saw Ricciardo back to his best. 2 podiums for our Bitterballs boys, and a finish of 5th in the title race. Now surely 2021 would be the year he could drive a Renault to victory. So what did the man do? He promptly buggered off to McLaren, becoming a papaya-powered Badger. Did the Honey Badger absolutely no favours though. Lando kicked his ass, and in 2 seasons, only once did he show his ability. That win in Monza was so brilliant. But so much of a flash in the pan it wasn't even funny. Zach Brown paid him a small country's yearly budget to leave. And next we saw Ricciardo was when he replaced poor old Nick de Vries at AlphaTauri mid-season 2023, actually managing to score 6 points in his 8 races. The man had made his comeback, yes. He was putting pressure on Perez for the Red Bull number 2 seat. So what was the problem then? Well, after 3 pointless races in 2024 and after being soundly outqualified by teammate Tsunoda, Ricciardo said, and I quote, "It hasn't been the best 3 races to start the season for sure. Kind of the preparation I had coming into the season, it's certainly not where I expected to be. But it's not something we were going to get like rattled by or anything. We've just got to stay on course and I'm sure we'll find it." End quote. Adding some pressure, Helmut Marko said, and I quote, "On Friday we will use our junior pilot Ayumu Iwasa, an all-Nippon team in training." And end quote, and that's in Japan, the race upcoming. So not only is young Liam Lawson breathing down his neck, but Honda's historic love for Japanese drivers with their Japanese engine power has once again reared his head. I wonder how long before the wokies and lefties and liberals start moaning about that. I mean, Honda tend to prefer Japanese drivers. How dare a Japanese manufacturer prefer Japanese drivers? That reeks of racism if you don't know what patriotism is. Well, reports have now surfaced on the internet that the chiefs in the Red Cow B team Cash App Visa Land may have given the Aussie 2 races to ship up or ship out, meaning that he may be sacked by the time the Miami GP comes round, with Liam Lawson favoured to replace him. So from potential world champion in 2016 to the verge of being kicked out of the series in 2024. 8 victories, 32 podiums, twice finished third in the World Drivers' title. Not a bad run for most drivers, and I'm certain Nick Heidfeld or Nico Hulkenberg would have traded their careers for those results. But not good enough if he was seen as the next big thing after solidly beating a 4-time drivers' champion in Vettel in equal machinery. A potentially disappointing end to a career that promised a massive amount, but delivered a lot less. Makes me wonder what would have happened if a genuinely good driver hadn't believed the hype, accepted the challenge, and stayed on at Red Bull versus Verstappen. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Either way, this is our video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would appreciate it greatly if you would press that sub button and share some of our content. New stuff out every week. Check out our shorts playlist as well. There's some good stuff on there. God bless and goodbye.